Okay, everybody, hello. So today I'm going to take a couple of minutes to talk about adverbs. Adverbs are one of the more difficult pieces of language to use, but they work really well in making our language sound very strong, very confident. If you're taking exams like IELTS, for example, using adverbs is a really good way to improve both your writing scores and your speaking scores. So, for example, in task one of the writing of IELTS, adverbs are really useful to use. If you're not doing an exam and you're just wanting to learn English for fun, they're a good way of making your language sound a little bit better, sound a little bit stronger. Yeah. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between adverbs and adjectives. And then second, I'm going to talk a little bit more about adverbs themselves. Okay, so what's the difference between an adverb and an adjective? That's a really good question. And it's something that people often find confusing. So the first thing to remember is that we use both words for description, but we use adjectives to describe things like nouns and pronouns. So a noun or a pronoun is an object or a person. So a pronoun's a person's name or words like he or she. A noun is for an object. So for example, we could say pen, we could say mug, and we could say notebook. Yeah. We use the adjective to describe those. We use an adverb basically to describe a verb. We can also use them to describe adjectives as well. But today I'm going to talk about basically how we use them to describe verbs. So let's have some examples where we see the adjective and where we also see the adverb. So, for example, you could say, this is a slow car. The adjective, which is in blue, is slow. And the noun that we're describing is car. If you describe the verb, if you describe the action, you can say, he is driving the car slowly. And the adverb is slowly. It's not describing the car, it's describing the action of driving. Yep. 2 or 3 easy examples. You could say, if we look at number 3, you could say that music is noisy. Music is the noun, noisy is the adjective. Tom is playing his music noisily. Yep. So what you've got there, playing the music, violin or guitar or drums, and the adverb is noisily. Yep. That's the main difference between the adjective and the adverb. I want to talk a little bit now about adverbs specifically. Now, when we're describing an action, we generally call these an adverb of manner. Don't worry, you don't need to know the term adverb of manner particularly, but you do need to know what they are and how we use them. So, we've talked about that the adverb describes a verb. Yeah, another way to describe that is that we often use them to explain how we do something. A key thing to remember is that we put these most of the time after the verb. Yep. And a lot of the time we put them at the end of the sentence or at the end of the clause where we're talking about something. So, good example of that is the first one here. This is a picture of me and some examples about me. So, you could say, Paul cooks food badly, which is true. I'm a terrible chef. Yeah. Badly's gone at the end of the sentence. We've got our subject, that's Paul. We've got our verb, that's cooked. We've got our object, which is food, and the adverb goes after. This doesn't happen all the time, but it's a good rule to look at. It's a good rule to remember because it happens most of the time. I could say Paul teaches English well. At least I hope you guys think so. Paul always works hard. Paul drinks water thirstily. Oh, I need the water. That picture was taken in Dubai. It was very, very hot. That was true in Dubai a lot. I drank water thirstily a lot. Yeah. You could say Paul eats hungrily. You could put food in there. Paul eats sandwiches hungrily. Yep. Paul sings terribly. That's true. Paul drives his car quickly. One or two things you can see. We've talked about they go at the end of our sentence, the end of our structure. But what you will see for a lot of them, a lot of adverbs of manner, they end with ly. So the adjective bad becomes badly. The adjective hungry becomes hungrily. The adjective terrible, terribly. Quick, quickly. Quiet, quietly. Slow, slowly. Yep. Another little bit. If the adjective normally ends in a y, and this is a good tip if you're writing, we change the y to an I and then we add the ly. So hungry ends with a y. We change that y to an I and make it hungrily. I hope that's clear. I hope that makes sense. I hope you liked this little video. If you did, give me a like, or if you really liked it, subscribe and you can see some more of my little grammar explanations and some of my English tips.